There is nothing magical here. It's just that things are weaved together.
It is just connecting the dots, right? The data is all there. We have never seen it with that kind of a context or a holistic approach, right? Like you immediately get so much context. You don't have to be in a Bombay or a Delhi or a Hyderabad or a Bangalore even to be a successful tech startup.
But again, there are rules. That's what makes it easy for the AI system for the Tesla autopilot to actually work really well in the US versus compare that to India. I mean, think of something like a food delivery.
Yeah.
100% digital. Everybody is kept informed of each and every stage of the process. Now, can you bring that to your enterprise?
Hello and welcome to another episode of Our Own Devices. This time we are going to talk. I think we are going to finally talk to one of India's biggest tech companies. You can say this is one company India has gifted to the world, and you actually feel proud because when you're traveling abroad, especially in the US, this is one Indian brand you see literally splattered all over Silicon Valley. Everywhere you see a Zoho advertisement or billboard, and it really makes you feel happy that this is we are returning the favor to Silicon Valley here, and it's a company which is India at its core, right? And which tells the world that you don't have to be in a Bombay or a Delhi or a Hyderabad or a Bangalore even to be a successful tech startup out of India. And I think that's a learning for the rest of the world also. It's not just about India, because across the world there are opportunities to create great products out of smaller parts of, or it doesn't have to come out of an urban conglomerate. So again, the topic that we have been sort of grappling with on and off for the past few weeks is AI, and we are getting deeper and deeper into the topic so that when you take a decision around how to use AI, how to implement AI in your company, or how to use it personally, you are well informed. So to talk about it this time, we have Ramaprakash Ramamoorthy, who is the director of AI research at Zoho Corp, and I'm told is a Zoho veteran. So Ram, welcome to the show.
Thank you, Nandagopal. It's a pleasure to be here with you.
So let me just ask you a very basic question, and this is again something we have talked about with other companies which are in this space. Sure. Now, if you're a small company or you're a large company, is it really possible to retrofit AI as a solution to what you have been doing all along, right? Because you might not be really AI ready in that sense, because your data, so Indian Express is maybe 100-year-old company. All our data might not be in the way which can be read by AI. So is it really possible to retrofit it? Is it even something we should attempt, or we should think about the future with AI?
Perfect. I think given all the hype around AI, now is the time when we've started meeting reality. Companies have started asking, okay, there's been so much of hype, and what is the reality? Am I getting a return on my investment? And at Zoho, we have seen that give the same AI stack to three very different companies, they will have three very different returns on investment from the same AI stack. And when we look deeper into why is that happening, and it broadly narrows down to how we have evolved over the years. I mean, we've been talking about digital transformation over the last couple of decades, and software as a category has been sold to departments, a software for the marketing department, a software for the finance departments. And now when AI is coming in order to bring in that context essentially is spread across departments. And of course, there are a lot of privacy rules. I mean, there is sensitive information, so it cannot be let out in the open. So this is the challenge where we have siloed data, siloed processes, and that is what makes AI ineffective. A more digitally mature company will have all of these sorted and will have much better returns from the AI stack. It's not just about the AI stack per se. I mean, if you think about it, we have Tesla, right? So Tesla self-driving in the US versus Tesla self-driving to Indian conditions. It's the same AI in both the places, but the level of maturity in driving in the US is very, very, it's monotonous, to be honest. But Again, there are rules. That's what makes it easy for the AI system for the Tesla autopilot to actually work really well in the US versus compare that to India. So that is what we're talking about. Companies have to move towards digital maturity. It is nothing to do with AI per se. A more digitally mature company will be the earliest to attain AI maturity. Again, this digital maturity is a continuous process. You cannot say, I mean, do these four things, digital maturity is done.
Is
All of a sudden there is a pandemic, you have to work from home, you have to take care of the security and privacy of your information. I mean, what was sensitive enterprise information that was only accessed from the office computer on the office network is now being able to access from a cafe on some public internet, right? So
yeah.
again, you have to be continuously optimizing, but generally the three recommendations that I give to move towards digital maturity: streamline your processes. Again, digital transformation we've been talking about for a couple of decades. Once you streamline your processes, your data will naturally get streamlined. So streamline your data and investing in a lot of dumb automation. I mean, rule based, traditional if else automation. And
Mhm.
that is where AI will be more impactful. So it is possible. It is a market need for companies to get in AI into their system, because everything is digital. For a customer or for an employee, the last best digital experience becomes the minimal expectation from then on. So it's important, but start off with digital maturity. That will be easier for AI to be retrofit into your existing workflows and processes.
So in a way, you're saying that your digital maturity is directly correlating to the ROI you are going to achieve out of AI in a way, right?
Absolutely, absolutely.
So you start with your digital maturity journey first, and then you can think of AI on the way. Or do you do that parallelly? Do you start with the digital maturity initiatives and maybe slowly start bringing in AI into that? And if I can ask it in a different way, does AI also offer a solution for digital maturity?
Does AI offer a solution for digital maturity? Yes, in some places, but it will not be the silver bullet. I
Yeah.
mean, connected process, I mean, we have been selling software to departments, right? And
Mhm.
how do you connect these departments? A low code, no code tool, or a
Yeah.
standard analytics dashboard for your top management. And the gaps in between departments and the general interdepartmental digital divide, if you think about it. Some
Yeah.
department like marketing is 100% digital, no paperwork. And let's say some department like facilities management is still probably running on WhatsApp.
Yeah. Yeah.
And only when everything gets into the system, your AI will be able to look into the data and then make predictions. And even for the AI to be impactful to your customers and to your employees, it needs to see a holistic picture, right? So a customer's life cycle, right from he or she landed as a lead into your system, to their sales journey, their purchase journey, to the customer support escalations that have happened. I mean, we've all had cases where we had to repeat ourselves to customer support executives. And interestingly, a lot of these new gen companies have cracked it. I mean, think of something like a food delivery.
Yeah.
100% digital. Everybody is kept informed of each and every stage of the process. Now, can you bring that to your enterprise? Let's say something like recruitment. You go apply for a job, and a lot of times people have to keep waiting and waiting, and that seems to be the biggest grouse. Now, if you can bring a food delivery like tracker, or where things are kept, again, it's a long process, the chain is longer, but that level of transparency will give your candidates a very, very refreshing experience. So digital maturity is first. How can AI help achieve this? Again, AI is just one part of the tool. It really cannot be the silver
Yeah.
bullet
Yeah.
to achieve digital maturity. But it's important for organizations to start investing in AI, because everything has gone digital. This is going to be your secret sauce. So start experiment. Don't wait for completely attaining digital maturity. I mean,
Yeah.
I would say that's a good idea. So do these things in parallel, because both of these are never-ending pursuits, are continuous targets. Things keep evolving, and then you also have to evolve in such a way.
At a time when you are talking to literally companies of different sizes across the world, and AI is still a very nascent technology, even though it's a very old, people don't realize it's maybe a 30-year-old technology which has grown and maybe hit a hockey stick kind of a growth in the past 2 3 years. But it's an old technology, but it's still new to people. People don't know the use cases. So how do you work with companies again? It's not a one size fits all kind of solution, right? have to think about the company, the context of the company, their problems, and how do you do these big? So it has to be bespoke, right? In a way, how a company can use AI for their problems, or even if they can use AI, how do
Yeah.
you help them?
Yeah. So let me tell you where we started. I mean,
Yeah,
this was in 2011. I was an intern with Zoho. Back then, the consumer space had a lot of AI, movie recommendations, e-commerce recommendations.
yeah,
Any technology gets incubated in the consumer world. If you think about it, even mobile apps, uh, we didn't have a lot of enterprise mobile apps just about 5 6 years back. Enterprise has this late mover advantage. So in 2011, primarily three things led to the rise of AI. One is cheaper data collection sensors. I mean, we all have these smartwatches that track our
yeah.
heart rate, that track our steps. And 15 years back, that would have been a miracle device or probably some high
Hmm.
end health device. But today,
Yeah,
it's so common and so accessible. And then we got cloud, where we were moving from monolith, bigger machines to commodity servers being distributed and then the workloads being distributed across them, which is technically infinite computing power. And three, the revenue models around data. Right. So we don't pay for our search engines, we don't pay for our social networks. We give back data to them and then they monetize it. And it's
yeah,
proven to be a very successful business model. So these three things happened in the early 2010s. And that's when led to this wave of AI summer. So the first thing that we tried to do was, again, we tried to retrofit AI into our software tools that have existed over the years. We started doing basic things like anomaly detection, forecasting. Again, they were based on traditional static thresholds where
hmm,
you would say the top 20, I mean, the top 20 and the bottom 20 will be flagged as an anomaly.
yeah,
And what we did is we did a soft replacement where we started looking at the past data, try and understand the seasonality, try and understand the growth rate at which the company is growing, and bring in that past knowledge to give current predictions. So you need not have the same threshold for a Monday morning 9 a.m. and a Saturday morning 3 a.m. These are very different scenarios. And let's say you are in a vacation business, then Saturday morning 3 a.m. might be very different for you. So customizing that anomaly, that forecasting to individual companies was the first place. Even today, the anomaly and forecasting are the hello world or the lower hanging fruits in AI deployment, where you look at your past data, you try and learn patterns and get going with it. And then slowly we started bringing in natural language processing capabilities. Again, this was around 2018, where we built our own translation and our own grammar error correction detection engine. The primary challenge that we saw was employees of our customers were copy pasting sensitive enterprise information into tools that were built for the consumer, translation tools, grammar error
yeah,
correction detection, browser add-ons, and things like that.
hmm,
So we got that into the enterprise software editor. And look at the way you've reduced your privacy risk. So it's been a
hmm,
so this is where we started. Again, not on the face AI that can change the way you do,
yeah,
but
yeah,
the existing anomaly and forecasting with the power of past data. One, bring in some translation and grammar error correction detection right within the very, very small, subtle things. And then come 2022, that is when we saw this emergent behavior coming out of these models. All of a sudden, a model is able to respond to emails, a model is able to paraphrase stuff, and one model can do multiple things. But even today, I would say the enterprise adoption of these models is very less, primarily due to two reasons. One is the privacy fear. I mean, we've heard stories about companies leaking their code base into a large language model and all that. Two is the cost. I mean, even if you're going via the enterprise route, you have to have an account with your favorite LLM provider. And then there has to be a context in which your organization data flows just through that account and so on. So, where do we see companies? Companies have just started adopting AI in a very serious fashion, especially post 2022. They are implementing it in a lot of areas like marketing and customer support to begin with. I mean, we've seen a lot of chatbots. Again, these chatbots are also evolving. We saw very IVR like chatbot, press one for this, press two for that, and so on.
yeah. Rule-based chatbots in
Yeah,
a way, right?
rule-based chatbots, and now we see more, even more fluidic experiences. But the
Yeah,
challenge, when is it handing over to the human being? I mean, how smart
mm,
is it to just hand over the human being when you ask
yeah,
questions that the chatbot won't know? So it's going to be a gradual evolution in the enterprise world. The consumer world has reached certain levels of maturity. If you ask me, I use large language models more for my personal life than my
Yes.
work life, because
Mm.
again, I cannot be copy pasting sensitive information. Even though we have an
Yeah.
enterprise large language model that we have self hosted, the usage at the enterprise is still comparatively limited when compared to my personal use cases.
You have seen companies adopting it. So have you seen very good use cases, adoptions where companies have actually been able to really utilize the power of AI? Or are we still away from those use cases because every company is still trying to figure out what's the best thing to do with it?
No, there are a lot of early adopters, and if you see again, they're not like it's about the beauty of it is how do you add these processes to existing use cases, right? So a huge automobile company in India
Mhm.
uh, has this has all of their has achieved certain level of digital maturity, right? So you drive to a garage, you get your car serviced, you come back, and then you have issues with the car. So you go raise the ticket with a chat support agent and say, let's say you replaced your wiper blade and it's having some issues. So the moment you connect to chat support, the support agent looks at the history of yourself. So and so person got this car in so and so year, recently visited service center for this problem, and these were the parts that were replaced. So the chat agent just gets a context even before he or she says a hi to the
Yeah.
customer. Now the customer comes in and say, hey, I replaced this part, but it's having issues. And again, the chat agent, typically what happens is they will probably go back, check with their supervisor, can I honor a warranty, or do I bring back this customer for more inspection? But let's say in this case, there have been a lot of other instances where for that particular part number, there have been warranty claims that have been approved. So the AI system conditionally approves the chat agent that, okay, you can go ahead and honor the warranty claim. Okay. And now immediately the customer is shown slots, depending on his zip code, depending on his pin code,
Mhm.
uh, where he can go and get the issue solved. And again,
Yeah.
looking at the inventory, you see, this is about digital maturity where a CRM information is connected to the customer support portal, and the customer support person is able to see through past tickets where otherwise he had to go manually search through or go talk to a supervisor.
Yeah.
I mean, look at the kind of experience for both the customer and the employee, right?
Yeah.
But again, there is nothing magical here. It's just that things are weaved together,
It is
and
just connecting the dots, right? The data is
exactly,
all there. We have never seen it with that kind of a context or a holistic approach, right? Like you
exactly,
immediately get so much context.
exactly. If you're going to say the customer support department should not see the marketing and the sales journey of the
Yeah.
customer,
Yeah. Yes.
then that is
Absolutely.
where data is in silos. Even a human will
Yeah.
not be able to make a decision,
Yeah.
let alone
Yeah.
AI. Now, when all of these pieces are connected, again, they don't use a single vendor's tool. They use multiple tools, but then these are properly connected via low code, no code platforms, via analytics
Mhm.
dashboards. And your
Yeah.
AI
Yeah.
system just sits on that analytics dashboard and is able to make decisions.
Yeah. Yeah.
Such little magic,
Yeah.
uh,
Yeah.
all because of the digital maturity. Now it's the same AI stack for all companies.
Mhm. Yeah.
But I mean, we ourselves have faced issues where we repeat ourselves to a customer support agent, or
Yes.
we've been frustrated with a bot trying to talk to us and give us canned solutions. So
Yeah.
this is where we see a lot of companies, a lot of digitally advanced companies trying to do wonderful use cases with AI.
Yeah.
Again, not this is not a new case study at all. I mean, it's where
Mhm.
somebody reaches out on chat support and how you resolve
Yeah.
it.
Yeah, but even this, I think, requires a little bit of human intelligence, right? Because you have all the power of AI, but where to use the AI power, which dots to connect, needs somebody to think and come up with the use cases. Is this usually that the customer has a problem, knows what they want to do, and you help execute it, or do you also work with them and saying, hey, these are the possibilities of what AI is opening up for you?
Yeah, we do both.
Okay.
We do for our enterprise, especially for our enterprise customers, we do bespoke, help them get started with, things like agentic frameworks where you can
Yeah.
do multiple things. And so it goes both ways. The product per se offers a lot of capabilities, and Zoho as such is evolving as a platform. So again, we have all of these interconnected. So within the platform, all of these work seamlessly across tools. I mean, the way the AI would work here is, I mean, look at let's say I talk about a wiper blade, and the the part name is actually different. So how do you resolve it? And then going and searching through past warranty agreements, I mean past warranty approvals, that is a challenge. How do you make it easy for that information retrieval? Because everything is in natural language, people tend to write different things in different ways. And one thing that I have seen is a lot of things, they don't have to feel like data entry, right? If your CRM system is going to feel like a data entry system, right? Think of a food delivery case. It's not data entry where, okay, I'm going and doing this, and it all happens automatically with the power of mobile apps, 5G, the location capabilities, and you bring in the data. So when you solidify your processes, that seems to be the core. And like I said, we offer both. I mean, there are products that come by default. Then there are low code, no code platforms which offer AI as a service that can be blended with the current workflows and processes. So it goes either ways.
So before we come to a stop, let me put you on the spot by asking you a couple of tough questions.
Sure.
One, so you also mentioned about the hype. So do you think we have come to a stage where everybody is tempering down their expectation around AI a little bit? It's great, but maybe it's not going to change the world. And the other thing is, do you actually recommend it for every business? Or are there still businesses which really don't have a use case for AI? Maybe they can wait for a couple of years for very specific, industry specific or use case specific things that they can have.
Perfect. So the first question, AI always over promises, under delivers. If you look at the past AI summers and AI winters, the technology per se has evolved, but it's the hype that is actually letting it under deliver that sets the expectation really high. I mean, think about it. It's not artificial. It's not intelligence.
Yeah.
And we always compare this to human level of thinking. If you think about it, compute itself is superhuman. Think of something like databases. Can you search through a million records and give me find out an answer in sub-second? But we don't say that databases are going to replace humans. Databases have a stronger memory than human beings, so they're going to take our jobs. No. Even today, I mean, I really appreciate what OpenAI did. They gave it a very robotic sounding name, ChatGPT, than call it an Alexa or a Siri. And I think that was well intentioned so that people don't anthropomorphize the AI and do that. But all the words that surround this, think about it. We say models hallucinate. I can hallucinate because I'm able to think. But large language model hallucinates. So it gives the illusion that the model is actually thinking, but it actually is not. It's just plain pattern matching. So we have to look at it beyond the hype. And even today, I really want the hype to come down. I mean, I've been seeing this since 2012. There have been 2017, 18, 19. I think we started again with the blockchain hype. But then 2022, nobody expected something to come out of a transformer architecture where we saw this emergent capabilities coming in. So this is a piece of technology that's evolving at a natural pace. Same thing like your high-speed internet network, same thing like your mobile operating systems. So it's a technology having its natural evolution, and it can help us optimize to whatever we do. It can make us more productive. It can automate a few mundane, repetitive stuff. And that's about it. It's not here about our jobs. So look at it, dehype it. I mean, look at it with a very practical sense. It can help us become more productive. One, the same way an iPad or a mobile phone helps us become more productive is going to do. And as far as companies, do they have to start using AI immediately? I would say no. If you are on a spreadsheet, probably migrate to a proper system, let's say a CRM
dashboard.
Do a dashboard. So digital maturity should be the pursuit of the companies, and AI maturity will automatically fall in place. If you have a digitally mature system, it's going to work as good than a digitally immature system with AI. So digital maturity is your starting point. Break down the silos, streamline your data, streamline your processes, invest in existing dumb automation. These things can get you to a much higher place than using an AI system with some data and silos or processes in silos. So start with, we have been talking about digital transformation. The emphasis is still on digital transformation, but just that have all the pieces connected. That will make you a solid foundation for the incoming AI stack.
I would say, Ram, your point about ChatGPT and not having called it an Alexa or something else, it's so fascinating. It's not something I have heard so far in like maybe 2 to 3 years of having conversations about AI, and it puts a lot of context into how you should look at this technology. That it is a technology at the end of the day. It will come with its pros and cons. So again, thanks for being on the show. It was fascinating talking to you.
Thank you, Nandagopal. Really appreciate the opportunity. I enjoyed the conversation.
So you are listening to Our Own Devices. We'll be back again next week with another guest and a lot more knowledge and insight. Till then, we are available everywhere you listen to your pods.